Hey, so now, happy 4th of July to you too, brother. Oh, and by the way, happy birthday, America. 250 years old, man. Yeah. How you doing, Sonal? I hope everything's all good out there. I see you on. I always give you a thumbs up if I run across you. Oh, there's D. McLean. Hey, brother. Just thought I'd do a live today. I'm gonna put the flags out, but we've been getting some rain this morning, thank goodness. Ms. Mobo's happy. She's watering her garden. So I'm gonna hang the flags up here in a little while. But I don't want to get them all wet. These dang flags, they turn pink. So I'm gonna hang them up here in a little while. But it's time for breakfast. Miss Mobo's hollered breakfast here. So I'm gonna go in here and eat. And I'm gonna turn this around. I don't have my tripod out here, so it's a little different, on a little different mount today. Dee says I put my flags on my truck and plan to drive around after work. Well, that'd be cool. Well, my plan was to go wave on the overpass, or I wanted to, but man, it's been so hot. Having a lot of trouble breathing. Real humid. It's thick air. It's as bad as in the wintertime with the cold air. So I'm just gonna stay home. We probably gonna stay in the truck. Probably start the truck up. Sit in the air conditioning. Yesterday was pretty tough. Sure enjoyed hanging with Soup Mama yesterday evening, but man, I'll tell you what, it was rough. It was hard. Yesterday was tough. It was really hot. It's like Soup Mama, had that heat going on, and it was pretty tough yesterday. And there's sweet Darlene. Darlene says, "Good morning, Mobo and Ms. Mobo." Morning, Darlene. Yeah, she's Miss Mobo's in. Got breakfast on, so I thought I'd start this up. It looks like we got another thunderstorm getting ready to move in here in a little bit. Yeah, Darlene. Well, we don't have air conditioning, so we got some pretty good fans, so we hang out in front of those. But if it does what it did yesterday, they're saying extreme heat here, and with this rain, when it clears past us and that sun comes out, it's gonna get pretty thick. And I just been having a terrible time breathing. I'm so short of breath. I'll tell you, it's tough. Every day's a blessing. Don't take it for granted. So I'm gonna turn this around, see what it looks like. You can watch the storm come in. I'm gonna leave this mountain. We'll see what it looks like when I turn it around. And I'm gonna go in here and eat a little breakfast. I wish I knew how. I'm afraid to mess around. I'd like to set a pin, say I'm gonna be back in a minute. D. McLean says it felt like 105 here in Ohio yesterday. Yeah, D. Yeah, it's summertime is here. It is on, and this is 4th of July weather. This is how 4th of July usually is. Hot and humid, and with possibilities of rain. So, but you're liable to hear a couple of big explosions. My neighbor over here loves 4th of July. He got a cousin that I think last year he said that this old boy spent $10,000 on fireworks. He buys them over the year. You know, it's not 10,000 all in one shot, but you know he loves his fireworks, and so you're liable to hear a couple of large explosions. I wouldn't. There's already been a couple this morning. Poor little old cats. It just little sis. It just sends her into orbit, man. I heard Ms. Mobo in there saying, "It's going to be doing this all day, little sis." it's it's already it's already got her pretty wound up. Darlene says it's 83 here right now, and it's so humid here. Yes, it's been so hot. 99 yesterday, and 109 heat index. Yeah, yeah. You know, you seen how Soup Mama was suffering pretty good with it yesterday evening. I hated to see her, you know, suffering like that. It was she's quite a trooper. Oh, I got another spider. I killed a spider here in the truck this morning. I see there's another one crawling around up here on the dash. I might have to see if I can squirt some dash cleaner foam. It's a foam. It's bull snot, and it kind of immobilizes them for a minute to where you can get a hold of them. So I might squirt some of that up there here in a little bit, but yeah, yeah. Dee says go enjoy your breakfast. We'll talk when you're done or something. Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna bring that other. I'm gonna bring that other mount in here, the tripod, and set it up and be a little better. And then I'll put the flags up here on the fence, the driveway fence post like I usually do. But kind of like I say, I kind of want to wait until after it rains, because them flags get wet, these cloth flags, and it turns them pink. They bleed. They bleed a little bit. Bleed a little bit. So I don't want to really put them out until the rains pass. I don't want to get them wet. Darlene wants to know how your knee's doing, Dee. Dee says not too bad so far, Darlene. Yeah, yeah. Probably a little better in the morning, but once you get moving around on it, that's how Ms. Mobo's knees were before she got them fixed, and so yeah, yeah. You get to moving around on it, it's gonna, you know, it'll start acting up. I hate to say that, but yeah, that's kind of how it is. Let me flip this around and see what it looks like looking out you can see the storm getting ready to move in here maybe. Yeah, yeah, you can see it over there to the west, right over, let's see if I can get my finger up there. Right over there. It's coming in from this direction right here. So, Darlene says, keep praying for healing, Dee. Yeah, 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 just ask the Almighty. He'll give you the strength. But yeah, I'm gonna go in here and eat some breakfast. I wish I knew how to. And Dee says that's after mine was supposed to be fixed. Yeah, yeah. Some, you know, it doesn't, you know, it doesn't do for some folks like it does everybody. You know, everybody. Well, everybody has different results. That's kind of like cataract surgery. Um, I had a cousin that just dealt a fit. Um, it took, and they had to redo hers, and but mine healed right up. My eye surgeon said that my case was textbook. That's how they wished everybody's uh, would do like mine did. Never had a bit of problem. I never wore glasses again after wearing them since I was in third grade, and so it it's different. These things are different for everybody. You hate to say that, but that's kind of how it is. Darlene says we keep you and Goldie in our prayers, D. McLean. Yes, we do, D. Uh, like I told you last night, you give Goldie big hugs. Tell her happy 4th of July. Um, D says that. Thank you. Oh, there's Dennis Osborne. Hey, Dennis, how you doing, brother? Good to see you. Glad you came in. Hang out for a little bit. Dennis Osborne says, Happy July the 4th. Yes, sir. And happy birthday, America. 250 years old. I tell you, that's something else. D. McLean says, be right back. Darlene says, how your ribs healed up, D? Well, yes, Darlene, yesterday D said his ribs have been doing pretty good, but it was his knee that had been dealing him a fit. D says, they're healed up they're healing up for the most part. Darlene says, hi, Dennis. Happy Independence Day. With flags, that's perfect. Yeah, we love our flags. Yeah, I'm gonna put mine up. I'm gonna get that other mount and put it in here so you'll be able to see them real good. And we got a little bit of wind blowing, but right now we got another thunderstorm getting ready to kind of move into the area. You can see it coming from right over in here to the west. That's west over there. I don't know that you can see the tower. That's the tower right there. There's a tower right there. It's not a cell tower. Wish it was. It's a state relay tower for the state communications with the state patrol, the conservation department, the state department, the highway, MoDOT. It's kind of one of those relay stations. It doesn't have any cell capability. I wish they would. It sure would help our signal out. Darlene says it's getting dark out there. Yeah, it's moving in. It's going to be here in a little bit, but yeah, I'm going to leave it sitting here. If you guys want to go out and scroll around, or I'm gonna have it running most day, all day. We're gonna try to catch up with Soup Mama. They've changed they canceled the parade in D.C. And they've moved the opening of the fair back, and also the fireworks. So they're trying to take care of the citizens out there in D.C. because it's terrible hot out. This heat. Miss Mobo has been wanting to do some stuff around the yard, and it's just so hot. I told her, I said, honey, there ain't nothing around here that can't wait. It's not, it's not worth, uh, you know, there's nothing worth your health. We're battling it anyway. You don't want to add to it. So Darlene says prayers for safety. Mo. Yeah, these aren't severe storms. I mean, tornadic, nothing like that. Just they could get heavy, maybe a little bit of wind, but um, and they're moving pretty quick. And then it's supposed to clear up, and of course, then it'll get hotter than blue blazes, and the humidity will come up because it rained last night too. Miss Mobo was real happy because it watered her garden. She's she's got a nice little patch going up there. She's got some tomatoes planted and cucumbers. Cucumbers are doing real good. Everything seems that she's planted seems to be growing pretty good. And Darlene says that's right, Mobo. Yeah, there ain't none of this grass. The grass a little shaggy. I hate to mow it because it's been so hot. I don't want it to burn up. So it still looks pretty good though. It's so green. Everything is so green. Um, and like I say, the tomatoes love this humidity, so they're really doing good. And Darlene says we had high winds and hail yesterday, power outages everywhere. Yeah, I saw that on the news that from Wisconsin all the way to the coast up there, that there was power outages up through there. So yeah, folks that's used to the air conditioning, I tell you, power goes out. I imagine some of them gets a little worked up, but of course we don't have air conditioning, but so we're kind of used to it. But now that we're old, and this COPD, this thick air is just it makes it pretty hard to breathe. I'm kind of wrestling it a little bit, but so I wish I knew how to pin a dang comment. Let me touch this and see what this does. Oh no, that's games. And Darlene says, I understand that, Mobo. Yeah, Darlene, it makes breathing kind of tough. Oh, here we go. Retouch, create, highlight. No, I don't understand how to. How to do that. I never have been able to, and I'd screw something up. So anyway, I'm gonna go eat breakfast. You can watch the storm come in. I'll leave it pointed that direction. If you want to go roam around, I'll be back in a little while. Um, and this we'll let this storm move through, and I'll get the other, I'll get the tripod out. It'd be a little better for viewing the flags. This little bendable arm mount, and it's kind of hard to point it. About have to put it up on the dash to. So I'll get the tripod out and we'll put it in here because I would imagine if it gets hot like it did yesterday, we're probably gonna hang out in the truck a little bit today, start it up and turn the air conditioning on and try to get some relief that way today. So okay. Well, I'm gonna go eat breakfast. I'll be back here in a little bit. Let's see, we lost our signal there a little bit. Wonder how long that's been off. Oh. Uh-oh. Darlene says I'm going round and round. Some buffering, some ain't. Well, it was. So, but I think we're back live again. Let's do something a little different here. There we go. Oh, yes, breakfast was wonderful. Um, if this keeps doing this, I'll end this stream and I'll start a new one and see if that'll take care of it. It's not being kind of ornery this morning in the fence post out here. Well, there is. Oh, he says, and now. Oh, he says, and now you're gone. You're back. Oh, and now you're gone. Oh, I'm back. I'm sorry about. I'm sorry about this thing acting up like this. This thing acting up like this. That's what happened. We live out here in the country, and it it does that. Let me flip this around so I can scare you again. Oh, there I am. Need to do something about my eyebrows. Oh man, it's terrible when you get old. Your hair starts just growing every place you out your ears, out your nose, and your eyebrows. They all curl up, and it just. Oh man, I tell you what. Am I back? I might be back. Oh, you're fine. We're just having fun. Oh, well, that's good. You know. Yeah, and there we go. Oh. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. That's too funny. It's just, it's something we deal with. Miss Mobo get out here trying to, pay bills online or play her game, and she just gets frustrated as hell about our signal strength. We kind of wrestle it a lot out here in God's country. So yeah, it it can be a booger, and we got a little bit of wind, and like I say, this storm front's kind of waffling around us a little bit. It hasn't rained since I went in and had breakfast and then it came back out. So um, um, we was watching some of the ships. They were showing the the sail ship, the big ships floating up into, I guess it's New York Harbor, or wherever out there in I think it's in New York Harbor. Again, well, we're doing it again. Disney is on ABC all day, and they've got you know 250th birthday shows all day, and of course I ain't gonna get started about Disney. I don't have to say much about them. That we all don't. Anybody that knows anything, even paying attention, knows. Walt's rolling around in his grave right now. I'm telling you, see what his company has turned into. None of them can make a movie anymore. Everything animated, animation, everything done with AI. That's the world we live in now. The world of AI. So I don't know. If you see me looking down, I've got my game uh, going here. Got a tournament going right now, and we're coming down to the second day. It's a 5-day tournament. And Dee says we had a nice little storm this morning while I was ready to head to work. Don't care about Disney. Nope. No, like I say, it's a shame. It's a shame what, like I say, I ain't gonna even get started about it. I sure wanted to go fly on that overpass today, though. I know it'd been a great time, but I'm just not up to it. I'm just so short of breath. I can't even hardly walk across the driveway. I don't know. Um, but I'd sure like gone over there and waved the flag for the truckers, and the truckers is the ones that really appreciates it. The old truckers, the American truckers. Now, and I ain't gonna get started about that either. I could be negative Nelly about a lot of stuff, and you know, it just you just put your faith in the man above, and and be the best person you can, and all of this kind of stuff that's going on is all in the book. So none of us are surprised. None of us that know what's going on are surprised. That pays attention. Um, the one that's really is them demo rats. They're the problem. Of course, they say we're the problem, but anyway, it just all we can do is take it a day at a time, and and be happy. Don't worry. The Almighty has it. He's got it. He knows the story from beginning to end. And so all we got to do is just believe and love one another and the best that we can, and don't worry about the rest of it. You just can't. You can't worry about the rest of it. So yeah. But it sure is a mess. It certainly is. It certainly is a mess. You know, You know, Brock, he opened up his library last weekend, and you got to show your ID to get in there, but you don't have to show your ID to vote. Now, make sense of that. I don't in this mail-in ballot stuff. Tell you what, they've got these liberal judges, and they're gonna 2028's life will be kind of ugly again. I don't even these terms coming up. Um, they're gonna do their best to cheat their stuff in again. It's I don't know. It leaves me speechless, and I'm not very speechless most of the time, as you know that for a fact. But I could sure it sure lights me up. I sure wanna carry on about it. It doesn't do any good. I'm back. Yeah, yeah. D, that's all we can do is just show our support, because you know a person's going to believe how they believe. That just it in a nutshell right there. It just we can't. All we can do is like I say, uh, try to lead by example. You know, um, you know everybody hollering about these gas prices. No, and this conflict in Iran. I don't really call it a war because Iran, you can't negotiate with terrorists. But boy, I can sure to but boy, I can sure to uh, matches. You know, where are they getting all this money that they don't have to do all their stuff? Where's that all coming from? I don't know. They pissed and moaned about not having any money for their daily stuff, but they sure got it to blow on soccer T-shirts and beer and you know, I don't know. I'm calling horse pucky. Yes, sir. I'm calling horse pucky. D says me too. I know. It's love, man. It's love horse pucky. You looked at me long enough, curled up eyebrows. I need to have Miss Mobo get scissors out. She cuts this one off here. This one curls. This one here stays pretty pretty good, but this one over here, it's just as unruly as it can be. Oh man, like I say, that hair when you get old, you better get ready because it starts to growing in places. It's growing out your ears and your nose. It's just something else. Let me turn this around here. I'll walk out here and put these little flags up on the fence post. I like my big ones better, but uh, I don't want them getting wet. So we'll we'll put the little ones up there and say, "Happy birthday, America." Yeah, I seen your pickup looking pretty nice, D. I like that flag you got on the side of it. That's pretty cool. It looks really good. Yeah, I don't know if my big one's 5x8. I think my big one's 4x6, if I'm not mistaken. The one that I wave on the overpasses. And my other ones, my other flags, they're 3x5s. That's the ones that we take those out and wave those also. But but I got the big one, the 4x6. That's the one I wave on the overpasses. I sure would have liked going over there, but man, I tell you what, with this humidity and this this shortness of breath, it seems like some days I'm not gonna I'm not gonna make it. Some days it gets kind of scary when you can't breathe. I'm huffing on this inhaler all the time. Guess I could go get my big flags and put them up, and just go snatch them off if it starts to sprinkling. Yeah, we'll just stay with the little ones. You folks get the idea. Yeah, yeah. And like I say that way, if it does rain, they'll be okay out there. Them big ones, they get wet. They go takes kind of pretty good wind to blow them. These little ones, um, not so much. It don't take much for them, and they're a stiffer. They're a different material than the big flags are cotton. I'm pretty sure, and but I've had a couple of them turn pink after they got wet, and so I try not to get them wet. I'm really surprised the neighbor ain't set off a couple more of them great big um, aerial bombs they've been shooting over there. Like I say, I was glad to get breakfast done without him shooting one of them off because a little cat like sat there next to me and man, I tell you, one of them things goes off and she jumps 3 foot in the air and takes off like a rocket, And if there's something in the way, you liable to get a claw stuck in your arm, or it's hard to say. Poor little old cat. Now the big one, it don't bother her too much. Big sis, she nothing really bothers her. Her ears perk up, but man, little sis, man, she's just off like a rocket. It just she just loses her mind. Little cat. She runs back in the back. You don't see her for 5 or 10 minutes, and the next thing you know, you look over there and all you see is her little eyes and her ears up over the shelf over the cabinet back there, looking looking like, is it safe? Is it safe? Yeah, she's not much firework kitty, that's for sure. D says we have a couple of those. Yeah, yeah, yeah. They're them cats. Well, even dog. A lot of dogs. They don't care much for them either. But you got to kind of keep the dogs corralled. But them cats, especially, boy, they just do not care for them loud noises, loud explosions. And the neighbor, he really lights them up. They'll get going here. I'm sure they don't want to really get a bunch of stuff out with this rain here on the horizon. Now it's moved a little bit, but it's kind of gone stationary for about the past couple hours. Um, it, it it's kind of up a little further to the north of us, so it's kind of skirting across the screen instead of. Of course, you can see the wind is blowing straight out of the west. That flag, that's west over there that we're looking at. We're looking to the west, and so, um, but it seems to be trying to skirt to the north also as it's moving westward. It's kind of skirting to the north. So, but I know Miss Mobo would sure like a little bit more rain on her tomatoes. We still haven't got the hoses hooked up. I got to get the pump primed and all that. But I tell you what, I'm kind of sad. I just can't hardly do nothing. It's really you know if I didn't have strong belief and some of my when I was in my pulmonary rehab class, some of the folks were really depressed about about their situation. Now, I was more angry than depressed because of the oxygen thing. I went into rehab thinking that it would lead to oxygen, but I found out through education and with my rehab nurses that my quality is good. I've got good, uh, pretty good oxygen saturation. Um, I just have a lot of trouble with quantity. I'm just short of breath. But what breath I'm getting is making the oxygen is making it into my bloodstream. So, and I'm healthy. I've had all the tests. All my uh, physical was all good, and I've been having this chest pain. It's not chest. It's my ribs and my breastbone kind of sort of touch. Well, that's where your diaphragm attaches to. And one of my classmates had the same thing. He had pain in his ribs and his breastbone. And so he went to his doctors, and gosh, they run lots of tests, and he was in pretty good shape. Not other than of course he was on oxygen, um, and he did have a saturation issue, whereas I don't really have yet. It's still nominal. It's not deteriorated into that range. And the reason it's close, I'm not I'm not in but I'm not down into the oxygen numbers where I need supplemental oxygen. Well, where insurance will pay for the oxygen. That's their deal. They're all like, well, your numbers won't, the insurance won't pay for your oxygen. I said, well, I don't care. I said, I'll pay for my oxygen. But I come to find out you really don't want to be on oxygen if you don't have to, because oxygen has its issues also. And but he said that they run all the tests on him and everything, and they finally came to the conclusion that that your lungs are hardened. They lose their elasticity with COPD, and in these heaving episodes, and just in general, because they're inflamed, they rub on your diaphragm, and they're abrasive, and it causes pain. That's what they decided. That's the diagnosis they gave him, was that his lungs were just so hard that it was like sandpaper rubbing across his diaphragm. His lungs were so abrasive. So, I went to my new primary care doctor, because my previous one left her practice. And so one of my prescriptions had been prescribed by my primary care doctor previous. I sure liked her. She's a great doctor. She made it possible for me to get my eyesight back, or got me on the road to getting my eyesight back. I'll always be eternally grateful to Megan Blay. I hope she's doing well. But I told my new doctor about this pain. And, we talked about my classmate in pulmonary rehab with the same issue. And of course, the new primary care doctor, he didn't he didn't get, he doesn't uh, either doesn't understand it, or but all he did was shrug his shoulders. He's like, well, I don't really know, So I tell you what, it's that's another frustrating thing as doctors. I don't even get me started about that either. So, but anyway, I've started to break out with these patches on my body. I've got them, these spots where the skin just peels off. I don't know if it's the medications. Albuterol is really corrosive to your system. You can hear what it's done to my voice and your vocal cords. It's pretty abrasive on your. And I'm nebulizing it, and then I'm using an inhaler with it, and it just. So anyway, pharmacist says I'm due for a tetanus booster and a shingles shot or vaccine. I don't know if they call it just a shot or a vaccine. So I'm gonna need to call my new doctor and get that set up, and maybe I can show him these. I've got one across my belt line. Um, just itches terrible bad. Just been using cortisone. Cortisone cream helps with the itch, but it's getting bigger. I had start out one patch, and then it moved, and then I started getting another patch of it over on the right side, and then started getting a couple of spots in between the two big patches. The biggest patch on the left side, and the smaller spot is on the right side. Well, then I started getting a couple of spots in between them. Well, now the spot on the left side has expanded to encompass one of the spots that was growing in the middle. So, but it's not bleeding or anything like that, or um, I don't. It doesn't. I thought about, you've got this AI stuff. You can take a picture of it, and the AI will analyze it. But I have, yeah. But anyway, yeah, I know. Miss Mobo, she's wanting me to get an appointment made and go at least have him look at it. See, I don't know if it's psoriasis or they have. There's so many different types of psoriasis. There's plaque psoriasis. There's arthritic or arthritic psoriasis. There's just rheumatoid I don't know. There's so many different types of skin stuff. I know it. Um, but I had this cyst when I went in, talked to him. Of course, I had that. I should have maybe had him look at it then when I was in there about this rib pain, breastbone pain. That was why I mainly went in there, because my rehab nurses thought maybe maybe it could be a gallbladder. That's where I guess your gallbladder's located up in there. But my physical and my blood screens didn't show any elevated white counts or any red flags that would indicate some kind of an issue with your gallbladder. So anyway, but I had this cyst, pretty about the size of your thumb, on my upper arm, on my right arm, and I would drain it periodically. It's pretty it's pretty foul. It had this kind of cheesy. I don't want to gross anybody out. It was anyway. I hadn't drained it for quite some time, and it was starting to get kind of big. It's about the size of your thumb sticking off my arm. Well, I first started mowing, and we got a fence row. It's got a lot of hedge tree along it and some low hanging branches. And it ruptured internally. It didn't rupture to the outside. It blew it out to the inside under my skin. Oh man, it hurt. It just hurt something fierce, and it left a hell of a bruise. And so I just kind of keeping it protected and making sure I didn't hit it on nothing because it was mighty sore. Well, about 3 days later, and this was just before my doctor's appointment. About 3 days later, it surfaced off to the side of the cyst, and man, I'll tell you what, it didn't smell, it wasn't foul but it was it was pretty gnarly to say the least. And so when I had my doctor's appointment, because see, my primary care doctor had uh, one of my that was prescribed through her. So my thought on getting a new doctor was that I was going to have a source to be able to get that respiratory med uh, prescription renewed. And so anyway, I've been keeping it big. I mean, one of them big square bandages. This thing was really gnarly, and it hurt. It was so sore. Oh my gosh, I can't even put it into words. And so I told him I need to have him look at this thing. It was kind of a blessing that's when my doctor's appointment was just a day or two after this thing. Well, I think it was 3 days after it surfaced, after it came to the surface. Oh, left hell of a bruise. Oh my God, it was ugly. And so I said, now I'm going to take my shirt off because I said this thing. We peel this bandage off of it, and I said I don't want to get it all over my shirt. I said because it's draining. I said there's stuff coming out of it. And so I took my shirt off and we peeled that bandage off of there. He kind of sat back on his. He says, "Boy," he says, that looks kind of painful." And I said, "Yes, sir, it is kind of painful." So he looked at it, kind of pushed on it a little bit. And of course I pushed on it at home too because stuff was coming out. It was draining. Oh, there's a little bit of lightning over there, a little flash lightning or two over there to the west. I think it's getting closer. Anyway, he got me set up with a surgeon, and I went back the next day, and uh, so I said, "Now, Doc," I said, "we're going to take it. We take this bandage off." Well, there's a little bit of thunder coming along with it too just now. Anyway, I said it's really gnarly looking, and so I peeled my shirt off and he peeled that bandage back off there, and he says, "Yeah," he says, it does look kind of gnarly, but he said I've seen worse, and I said, "Well, that's good to know." So anyway, he says, "Well," and he's a great doctor, younger guy. I'd say he's probably around his late 30s, early 40s maybe. Just a great guy. they deadened her up, and of course I wasn't watching. I had my head. We were talking while he was working on it, and they put a one of them dressing things over it, keep it contained while he did whatever he did. He lanced it, and uh, so he 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 said, now I'm going to press on it. You're going to feel some pressure. And he said, I'm working to get the sack up out of there. And he did. He got it up out of there, and then he packed it. He said, well, he said, now I'm going to put some packing in it. And so he did that, and they got it, and they got it secured and everything on my arm, and I'll tell you what, there was a lot of on that dressing that shield, that surgery shield that they put it over the area that's got a hole in it, where they're working at, and it covers the rest of your arm and stuff. And man, there was a lot of blood. There was a lot of blood. Thing was it was soaked in blood. I really bled a lot. And but him and his nurse, they were just top notch. They really took good care of me, and of course there was some blood. She wiped some blood off from underneath my arm and stuff, and I bled quite a bit. There was a lot of blood. Wow, yeah, it was pretty rough. And he said, now, because I told him, I said, well, we've been doctoring it with uh, uh, peroxide, hydrogen peroxide, and I said, using a little bit of using the Epsom salt compress on it. And he said, so he said he got it packed up. He said, now, I don't want you using any more peroxide on this. He said, this needs to heal from the inside out. And so just use soap and water around this when you change the dressing on it. Every day you change your dressing. And you just clean around it with warm a warm cloth and soap around it. And yeah, oh D, I tell you, I was so lucky. This guy was top notch. She said, but now I'm going to tell you, tomorrow I want you to take this packing out. And he said, when you do it, you got to get mad. You got to really get mad when you go to taking this out. And I was like, okay, all right, And it was instant relief, even after the next day. It was apples and oranges. How different. It wasn't sore, but it was sore, but it wasn't painful like it was before. And so Miss Mobo, I got set on the little stool there, and so Miss Mobo got a hold of the outer packing, or the outer bandage, the dressing, and it was all hooked together. This packing, and so she peeled back that bandage, and she started to pull. And she pulled, and she pulled, and it just kept coming. And she got about a foot of it out of my arm, and she started. I said, "Don't stop now, honey." I said, "Keep pulling." That packing had to have been 2 foot long when she pulled it. And she says, "Oh my God!" There was a hole big enough you could have stuck your thumb in it, man. It left a huge hole. Oh my God. Oh man. I tell you what, that was something else. But like I say, I'm healthy. I'm good and healthy. and we, of course, it drained. It drained for 2 or 3, 4 days. But it was less and less every day. We'd change the bandage on it, and every day it was less and less, and then it started to closing up, and uh, it took it 2 weeks, and it had it started to it closed up, and uh, at about 2 weeks there, it had of course had a scab on the top of it. Kind of grossing everybody out. Like they're like, hey, he's talking about scabs and packing, 2 foot long, a hole in his arm, you can stick your thumb in it. Ew! But oh my goodness, I left a hell of a dent in my arm. I got a pretty good sized dent where that was it was big. It was a big cyst. I should have had something done about it a long time before then. But um, so I went back. I think I went back. Oh, it was a week for him to, post-op, for him to look at it. After we got the packing out and everything, and and of course I brought my own bandage. Using them big square. Well, the biggest square bandage that Band-Aids makes. I think it was a 4x4 because it was a pretty big spot, and uh, so he says, "Well, let me get some packing." I said, "Well, I brought a bandage." Oh, well, gosh, you came from here. He's a great guy. We really had a, a nice conversation. He took such good care of me. It was pretty awesome. So uh, anyway, that just shows you, how that I'm healthy because that healed right up. No infection, no nothing. I don't know if maybe I've been on this antibiotic for about a year and a half with my respiratory doctor. Says it's an antibiotic, but it's for inflammation. Now I don't get that, but they want to use some of this stuff off label, and then other stuff, they don't. I don't understand. I don't understand it. But anyway, yeah. So I need to make an appointment for this tetanus and this shingles shot. And when I go, I'll have my new primary care doctor have a look at this patch here on my that I got going on this skin thing. Maybe talk to him about it, but you just don't know all these medications. I'm on this powdered inhaler med that's got steroids in it, and I had trouble with a couple of these inhaled. Oh, it looks like we're starting to get some sprinkles here. Oh hell! I don't want to have to move the dang camera because the key is in this. Hold on, I'm going to shake us up here a little bit so I can get the key out. We're starting to get some rain here a little bit. I should have kept it out. There we go. But yeah, I tell you what. Uh-oh. Let me just turn there a little bit. There we go. But I tell you what, I got a cyst in my behind my ear. He said, well, we can take care of that one too. And I said, well, let's get this one on my arm healed up and everything. And well, I don't know. I may go have to put the glass in the door with this wind blowing like it is. G says it's sunny and hot there. That's in Ohio. Um, well, this is kind of moving that way, but I would imagine it's going to take it a little while. Now they said that there might be some stuff that goes on out there. Let me go close up the container. You can continue to watch the storm move in. I don't know. How's the picture? Is it straight? Are we crooked? How about that? Is that a little better? That looks a little better. Okay, so I'll be right back. I'm back. Yeah, you can see it is. It's getting ready to get after here in a minute. I put the glass in the door, or the plexiglass. Man, I don't know. I might almost start up the truck. It's pretty warm in here. I'm trying to draw some of that humidity. I think I'm going to. Where's the key? Oh, there it is. I think I'm going to turn the air conditioner on. Yeah, they're pretty low. Looking cloud coming in here. We're under severe thunderstorm warning, and it's coming. It's right there in front of us. Oh man. Oh, now that feels good. Alright. Put my glasses back on here. D says his truck says 91 and feels like 97. Well, the Ram says 77 here, and that's just because of what's going on with the rain right now. It's still awful humid. D says, I bet it's pretty warm in there. I already have mine running. Yeah, well, it was just a little, from this morning, it's a little humid. But this will take that humidity out of the equation, and it'll be pretty good in here. So. But it looks like we're just going to get clipped with the really lowest part of it is over here just to our north, to the right of us over here. I don't know if you can see it for the top of the Hummer. That's where the really lowering part of it is there, and you can see it. You can see the top edge of it comes up right there between the trees. But it's still, Miss Mobo said on the radar, it's still gonna, we're still gonna get a pretty good shot. And then the wind really picking up now. You can see them little flags are flapping in the air. Yep, that cool air sure feels good. Well, there's pretty good wind blast. I think it's here. Oh, you're gonna get to call it a day, huh? 5 more minutes and I'm clocking out. Well, yeah, 1 o'clock. Yes, that's cool. Yeah, I can get onto the house and kick back and relax a little bit. Yeah, man. Look at that little flag. It's just a flapping for all it's worth, man. Yeah, it's for getting after it right now, man. There's stuff flying all over the place. Wow. Yeah. Oh, it blew the other one off. It didn't have as good a spot to stick it in as this one over here did. It blew the other little one right off of there. Man, look at that thing flapping in the wind. Goodness gracious. It is really, really blowing out there. Well, Dee, I'm glad you're getting good to kick out of there. I was glad the stream finally straightened up. Boy, I tell you what, it was really in and out. Man, it's wailing. Check it out. Goodness gracious! Whoa! There's a little limb. This little maple tree here in front. It started as a sucker. Now, I need to get it cut down, cut some of it, get it cut out of there because it's not healthy. And I was afraid it might blow over on the power line here. Oh, there comes another stick of flying out of there. Some of the little limbs are dead, and they pop off of there every now and then. Dee says, going to drive around town a little bit. Oh, cool. See what's going on, huh? Well, brother, thanks for coming in and hanging out, listening to my doctor's story. I appreciate you, brother. I'm hoping that, Soup Mama takes a little better care of taking stuff with her for out there. I know they've switched stuff around. Maybe we'll catch you in her stream later on. We'll get to watch some fireworks and hang out with Soup Mama. I tell you, she's a sweetheart. I got to hang with her in Branson. I know you did too. And she's just as sweet as she can be. I tell you, what a great patriot. Great patriot. She's pretty special. You're ready to show off your flags. Yeah, cool, man. That's awesome, brother. Well, yes, we're celebrating America's 250th birthday. What a Oh, oh, oh. Damn it. Oh, shit. Just in time. Wow. Man, I'll tell you, this streaming really uses a lot of juice, man. Oh, Aventura, Amelia. Well, I think I see Amelia in there. Hi, Amelia. Oh, thanks for coming in and hanging out. We just had a great storm come through here. I had it, I thought I had it pointing outwards the other way, but maybe not. I had to go in the house for a minute. We turn this air conditioner back on. Got the truck running. Been terribly hot here in the Midwest, Missouri. A lot of power outages up in the city up there. It was really blowing. It was coming hot. When it came, we turned around. You can still see the flag. The little flag over there is still flapping pretty good. It's still blowing. It's going to be another little bit before it's all the way out of here, but we want it to stay here as long as possible, because when it gets past and that sun comes out, oh my goodness, it's going to really warm up. Here, let me clean the windshield off a little bit. There you go.